Today I want us to talk about self-love because we often hear this word bandied around, but what does it truly mean and how do we achieve more of it if we really feel in a state where we cannot see our own value and worthiness? Self-love is really based on a set of actions that support ourselves in mind, body and spirit, and the next 4 tips I hope will help you learn to achieve more of that feeling. It can be really tempting if you have felt betrayed or you've had a setback or a knockback and felt rejected, especially when it comes to intimate relationships. This is where I hear about it most in terms of my therapy work. And I will hear people say, well, I'm just never going to go out and date again. I'm never going to get involved with someone emotionally again. The problem is we shut ourselves off from feeling that deep richness and connection that comes from being emotionally open and allowing ourselves to feel a sense of connection with others. And sometimes the biggest gift we can give ourselves is to allow ourselves and be courageous enough to take a step forward and just trust in the next moment and the next moment and the next moment, and bit by bit rebuild that trust in ourselves and in the process of life. And sometimes that just takes an act of faith because there are no guarantees. Step 2, be cultivating self-respect. Now, what does self-respect mean to you? Could it be about defending what is valuable to you, defending what you believe in, allowing people to know when they've crossed a boundary with you? It's about behaving with respect and dignity around people and around issues that are important to you. It's about caring for the environment that you live in, so it's a reflection of the respect you have for yourself, about respecting the body that you live in, about eating nutritious food because this body is a vehicle from which we operate in the world. So if we don't take care of it, how can we expect it to operate at its best capacity? It's also about what we feed our mind. You know, what are we feeding it with that helps us and maintain a sense of well-being? Step 3 is about personal boundaries. You need to be aware of who you're spending your time with and what you agree to accommodate. Because if we are overly forgiving of someone whose behaviour is constantly crossing our boundaries, we not only impact ourselves and our own emotional health, but we also don't allow the other person to grow because they go on to believe that that behaviour is actually normal and acceptable, and perhaps it's not. So having very clear boundaries in place with people and ways of expressing those boundaries is very important for self-respect and allowing other people to know what's okay with you and what is not. Step 4 would be practice patience. You know, when we talk about self-love, this is not about becoming self-absorbed. This is about knowing what our strengths and weaknesses are and having some acceptance around that, whilst, if you choose to, going on to improve certain areas. It's a natural human instinct to want to stretch ourselves. That's how we've evolved, to grow as much as we have as a human race. But we need to have some patience with ourselves. And if anyone has gone through a low period, and this is what I see in my therapy room, they find it difficult to see their own value and worthiness. And we live in a society that really overly emphasises the importance of image and how we look, and under-emphasises how important it is to stretch ourselves and grow in terms of who we are on the inside and what areas we can achieve that are not immediately visible to the eye. So areas in your life that you could stretch yourself and feel you are adding value into the world and value into your own world as well is where to focus. So, for instance, intelligence, kindness, acts of service are all areas that can help you grow and develop and appreciate yourself as a person. So I hope that was of help and you can get some sort of tips out of that. As I always say, take what you like and leave the rest. For any of you that don't know, I am a registered Human Givens psychotherapist, and I see people in my Pockets of Wisdom therapy room in Kingston upon Thames. And so if you'd like to book a session with me, then you can go to the link in my profile.